Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Azu, the Vitality and More podcast. I am truly excited and happy to be talking with you all. My name is Azu Dogan, and I'm your host today. Some of you may already know me from my Instagram or Facebook pages, Vitality and More, or as the author of Follow Your Heart, Live, Eat, Be. This podcast is about connecting real conversations around wholeness and wellness. I share my wisdom around topics that will inspire you to make an inward journey. Be curious, follow your heart to purposeful living, and find abundance within. Just a quick mention before we begin, as always, this podcast does not in any way offer medical or professional health advice, as I'm not trained in either of these areas. What this podcast does do, however, is offer a platform where we can have a conversation to help guide us on our journey to becoming more whole, living a life of abundance, health, and happiness. After publishing my first book, Follow Your Heart, in late 2021, I have been wanting to share many conversations with you all. Conversations about what I've learned in my healing journey and what it means to live, eat, be, and follow your heart. I'm wanting to expand the whole essence of what Vitality and More is all about and create healthy, practical, and authentic conversations here so that you too can find alignment with life and know your why. So if I haven't already said it, thank you for joining the conversation today. I'm so happy to be here. Let's get started with this week's episode on the topic of the art of self-love, episode 5. So let's talk about the art of self-love. Did you know that love is an energy, an emotional state, and the only way we can receive it truly from others is if we are loving ourselves fully, adoring ourselves fully for all that we are? Self-love means looking after yourself the way you would look after a loved one. Self-love means treating yourself with the same loving kindness you would offer a loved one or another. Self-love means giving yourself permission to embrace who you are, no matter what that looks like or feels like. When we love ourselves, we begin to set the foundation of a happy, healthy, abundant, and fulfilling life. When we embrace who we are, that is our inner self, we are loving of ourselves. I invite you to pause and ask yourself this question: am I loving of myself? Do I feel worthy of self-love? And if I'm not, then what is getting in the way? You see, it's in the what is getting in the way is where we need to do the work. And when I'm talking about work, I'm referring to the inner work. I have struggled with self-love for most of my adult life. My negative thoughts, fears, limiting beliefs, self-judgment, self-sabotage, and past traumas of being told I was not worthy enough felt like I was not loved enough. I was in the constant mode of trying to prove myself to gain the love of others. I believed that was the key to getting to my heart and leaning into self-love, that if others loved me, then I would love myself too. If others didn't show me love, then my belief, not the truth, but just a very limiting belief I held, was that I was not worthy of self-love either. This limiting belief kept me stuck for a very long time. This limiting belief led me to feel unworthy and unloved. This limiting belief about self-love felt extremely painful and debilitating at times. I would look in the mirror and not see the beauty that others could. I was constantly told that I was beautiful inside and out, but I could not see that, let alone feel that. My conditioning as a child and later into adolescence did not allow me to dive into love, into self-love. I felt tense, unhappy, and stressed most of the time. I didn't know what self-love meant other than having some time out at the day spa or perhaps going on holidays and being with my husband and children. My thoughts were very limited, and this was all I knew until I began to do the inner work, until I began to realize that the person standing in front of the mirror, that is, me, was the most loving, beautiful, kind, warm-hearted, and selfless person I knew. You see, the biggest lesson for me was to break through my limiting beliefs and lack of self-worth through the help of my mentor and life coach. When I learned to let go of my past traumas and conditioning, I understood what was holding me back from expansion and love. It was then that I could start to feel whole again and become aligned with love and with life. The thing about self-love is this, put simply, it's about cultivating and nurturing yourself as you are. Let me explain. When we are in the acceptance of who we are, how we look, and we practice positive self image, we are loving ourselves. We don't need things to be more self loving. We don't need to be more productive to be self loving. We don't need to look perfect to be self loving. And we certainly don't need fancy things to be self loving. The moment you can connect to your heart center, your soul, your divinity, is the moment you can feel free and loving of yourself unconditionally. How do you talk to yourself? Is it with loving words or is it with judgment and self-loathe? Remember, and I've said this a few times now in the past few episodes, that it's about the feeling. It's about feeling into what self-love looks like and feels like for you. And I'm not talking about vanity either. Just sit with yourself and love yourself each day. That's it. Imagine how freeing that would feel. Imagine how peaceful that would be to just feel into self love every day, to stop the inner critic and ego voice that's telling you you're not good enough, which has been limiting you from loving yourself. Self love is about freedom. It's about the freedom to be you, to be whole, to be aligned, and to be a limitless and happy being. Our birthright is to be happy and healthy. And when we embrace self love in all its glory, then we are happy and we are healthy. Once again, I invite you to tap in or tune into your heart. I invite you to have self awareness of yourself. I invite you to fall in love with taking care of yourself, your mind, body, and soul fully. Tap into your own needs, your emotions, your desires, and see where you are not free, where you need to do the work. If we are not free and loving ourselves, then we are in the constant push and pull mode or fight or flight mode of life. This is not love. This is fear. We all have struggles, traumas, things, and beliefs that we may be holding on to that is not allowing us to live our lives with love and grace. But when you can remove these struggles, you can remove the limiting beliefs that you've been carrying around, the ones that have weighed you down, just like I did. If you read my book, Follow Your Heart, you would know that I've dedicated a whole chapter to this very topic of self-love, and it's called Love of Self and Others. I explain how self-love is not simply a state of mind about feeling good or looking good. It's a state of appreciation fully for yourself that grows, expands, and evolves from the actions you take to support your mind, body, and soul. When you love yourself unconditionally, your sense of self-love and acceptance is no longer tied to the judgment of others, your success or failure on any given day, or anything else for that matter. You begin to wake up in the morning feeling more whole, loving, and fully accepting of yourself no matter what. Love is the most precious gift you can give yourself and the world. The more you can love yourself, the more you are able to extend this love to others, Mother Earth, and everything that meets your loving energy. We are born with love, into love, and it's our birthrights. So, at what point is it that we lose touch with self-love and self-worth? As humans, we tend to look for love outside of ourselves. We tend to look for external gratification, validation, and anything else that makes us feel good or look good, which in turn means we will love ourselves more, right? Wrong. Self-love is an inside job. Self-love is being unapologetically you, being authentic and not being afraid to speak up or stand in your truth. As I mentioned earlier, learning to love myself fully has been one of my biggest and greatest transformative breakthroughs since starting my spiritual and healing journey. Understand one thing from today's conversation, that your soul, your inner spirit, energetically wants nothing more than to be loved, connected, and accepted by you. Learn and unlearn what self-love means for you. Learn and unlearn how self-love is truly magical when you can embrace it in every aspect of your life. I have learned and continue to learn to let love in. Learning to love myself and others from the depth of my heart and soul has been my greatest savior to living more meaningfully and mindfully. And I quote from my book, I now can feel this love. I breathe this love. I am love. Perhaps you can use this as a little affirmation for your day. As you rise for the day, repeat to yourself that you can feel love, you breathe love, you are love, and let that magnify into your life. The moment you step into your power, the power of self-love and self-awareness, is the moment that the universe begins to deliver abundance in many ways. If we are loving of ourselves, of life, of others, then the universe continues to bless us with more loving energy. Remember, love is freedom. Love is inner peace. Love is free. Love is born with us and continues to expand as we evolve and continue our journey of expansion. Once you truly feel into the abundance of love and the art of self-love, then this abundance of love keeps flowing through you and for you. So close your eyes for a moment and just feel into the abundance of love, self-love. Feel into the acceptance of who you are, how you look, what age you are, what you own and don't own, what titles you fit into, what size you are, the color of your skin, the food you eat, how your body feels. Feel into this feeling fully and every part of this with love. What does that look like for you? What does that feel like for you? Does it feel safe, good, happy, joyful, beautiful, freeing, loving? Hold on to that feeling and tune into that feeling daily when you meditate, when you press pause. Continue that feeling of self-love day in and day out. Self-love comes naturally to some of us, and others, it's a process. But if you're feeling like you may need some guidance and or don't feel loving of yourself, then we think that our new intuitive life coaching program can help guide you and help release whatever blockages may be in the way of allowing you to flow with love, and in particular, self-love. We are here to hold space for you and be your guides because life gets hard. We have challenges or deadlines that we need to meet daily. And these challenges can sometimes prevent us from leaning into loving ourselves or taking care of ourselves. My personal experience with holding space for love for myself and my self-worth has finally given me the courage to move forward, expand, enlighten, and share my work with you through my book, my podcast, and now through our new intuitive life coaching program that my partner and I will be offering. With love as my guide, I feel as though I can do anything or nothing, be anything or nothing, and have total inner peace. Pure love comes from bliss. Bliss comes from the ability to remember yourself exactly as you are. Love yourself for who you are. Your body, while at the outset reflects you, is not you. Your mind, while a reflection of your thoughts and what you've allowed into your consciousness, is again not you. The true you, your higher self, your inner wisdom, your intuition, your soul is you. You are an expression of your energy, your spirit, your heart, and ultimately love. You are a loving being capable of incredible things and journeys. You are divine, beautiful, worthy, blessed, and love inside and out. Never ever forget that. When we love ourselves, we have a certain energy, a vibration that flows through us and inspires others to love themselves too. The benefits of self-love are endless. When we love ourselves fully, we remove all the unhealthy thoughts, self-judgment, and negative self-talk about our lives. When we step into our power fully with self-love as our guide, we have the power and potential to change the narrative around love and self-worth. When your actions come from a place of love, you bring forth that energy in everything you see, hear, feel, touch, and do. You learn that life is truly the most joyous and precious gift that you have. Be who you are and not what the world wants you to be. Be love. When love is flowing and feeling ever so good, understand that it is love. Let's lift our vibrations to that of love. Let's tune into the frequency of love and let it flow on to others and multiply. Don't let the practice of daily self-love become challenging. Make time for you. Make time for things, people, places that bring you joy. Don't ever feel guilty for the love and time you give yourself. Be willing and curious to stay open, grow, heal, and lean into self-love. When you can effortlessly and fully align with self-love, become more self-aware, and embrace who you fully are, then you are already there. Let's conclude this conversation today with the knowing that you can embody the art of self-love and self-acceptance and change your life. Every step you take emotionally and energetically towards self-love can and will improve your health, your mental well-being, and state of mind, and allow more flow with life. We all are infinite beings and are connected to a source of knowing, a source of divine energy. This energy is called love. Stop comparing yourself to others. Don't worry about what other people think of you. Your value isn't about how you look or what your net assets are worth. Process and surrender your fears or limiting beliefs. Love the skin you are in. Aging is not shameful and is a blessing. Learn to trust yourself, your intuition, and love her so fearlessly because she is always, and I mean always, on the right path. And if I can leave you with a quote by Rudy Francisco, the great poet, which I also share in my book in the chapter of self-love, it's this, and I quote, "Perhaps we should love ourselves so fearlessly that when others see us, they know exactly how it should be done," unquote. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on self-love. Do you practice it? Are you afraid of it? Do you need some help with fine-tuning your self-love radar? Please leave me a comment, rate or review this show, and let's keep this conversation growing. Stay happy, stay healthy and whole, and let your self-love radar explode. As always, join me here weekly or visit my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or website for more inspiration like this. And if you love what you heard today, please subscribe or share with your friends and family and let the conversation expand. I would love to have you here and continue to join me on this journey to wholeness, happiness, and well-being. Once again, thank you for tuning in today, for trusting me. I'm grateful knowing that you are listening and doing the work for your well-being and wholeness. Let us live, eat, be for a life full of vitality and more. It's been a pleasure having this conversation today. If you're keen to chat with me, do get in touch via the Contact Us page on my website or via my social media pages, and let's get the conversation growing. I look forward to seeing where it continues to land. And if you are interested in exploring our new intuitive life and business coaching services, please do get in touch and we can set up a free discovery call to see where you can expand to. Namaste, beautiful friends. Sending love, blessings, and vitality and more your way. Until next time.